Hello people of YouTube, it's Deepak here and welcome to DCS World 1.5 and Leatherneck Sims Mig21bis. In today's video I'm going to demonstrate the use of the UPK-23 gun pods. You can see them currently mounted on this particular aircraft. Their employment is very similar to the air-to-ground rockets. The only difference is in the initial setup of the aircraft, but after that it's pretty much the same. So, let's jump inside the aircraft and you'll see that I've got it in the same situation as my video on bombs and rocket pods. We've got some soft skin vehicles down here at the kink in the road. We're going to attack them from a 30-degree angle, around about what we're at just now. I would say just over 4,000 meters. I would say anything over 3,000 should be just fine. And yeah, about 30-degree down angle and a normal strafing attack, very similar to the rockets. So, I'll go through the setup. As usual, we'll try and take a logical approach. We'll take a look at the weapon selectors first. So, first thing to do is to make sure master mode is ground, missile switch is in neutral. For the first time, we're actually not using the weapon select rotary. Actually, the selection is all on this overhead panel, which is installed whenever the UPK-23 pods are present. So we'll skip that for just now. We'll go to the ASP gun sight. That needs to be in gun mode, it needs to be in shoot, and it needs to be in automatic, which it now is. And we need to set the target size to 10 meters. That's standard for all air-to-ground employment. And then we're going to go to the overhead panel. We're going to power the pods, and this switch actually switches us between the UPK pods and the internal GSH-23 cannon. Because you see, when we're firing the pods, we actually just use the cannon trigger. So this switch controls what the trigger is actually affecting. The weapons rotator that we normally use down here, that is only associated with the weapons release trigger on the back of the stick. So we ignore that because we're not using the weapons release button, we're using the gun trigger, so we want to use this. And just like the internal cannon, we have 3 pyrotechnic cartridges which will actually load the gun pods, and we're going to use that just now. If we fire cartridge 1, we'll now see that we get a green status light. That tells us the pods are ready to fire, the guns are loaded. So let's go down to the radar control panel. We'll confirm that the radar is on and in beam mode so that we're driving the range indication. I'm actually just going to mute the radar warning receiver there. And that's actually it for the weapon setup. We're now going to fence the aircraft in, so navigational lights to off. We're going to power the countermeasures pods. I'm going to turn on my pitot heaters. There we go. And I'm going to set my dangerous altitude to 250 meters as usual. And I'll pop the cap on the countermeasures dispense button. Okay, so at that stage we are good to go. So I'm going to continue towards, continue in the direction I'm currently flying and get the aircraft in the right position to turn and dive. We're wanting to fire the guns once the range scale, we're using the bottom range scale again, is showing less than 2 kilometers. As usual, we'll get a launch authorized light come up here on the left, and at some point we will get the break off attack light on the right hand side. And we want to be breaking off at the time that light goes off or before. And during the course of this maneuver, we want to be maintaining around about 600 kilometers an hour. And before beginning our dive, we want throttle around about 70% or even slightly lower. Okay, it looks like we're about in position now. I'm going to throttle the aircraft back. As always, want to maintain positive G. There aren't actually any G limits for the gun pods, by the way, that I'm aware of. It's not the same as the bombs and the rockets. However, I think it's probably best practice to maintain less than 5G in the pull-up anyway, just in case you find yourself with a mixed loadout. Okay, so we're going to place the gun pipper slightly below the targets, because as we get closer, the pipper is going to slowly move up the gun sight. So we want to make sure that we don't end up missing. I'm just going to try and improve my alignment very slightly here. There we go, that's better. So down we go. We're going to see the range scale start to move soon. I'll try and do a strafe across these vehicles, see if I can catch a few of them in one go. Okay, that's us firing and pulling out. Now I did get my low altitude warning there. Okay. Fire off some flares. I think I hit something. Not sure what, but I think I hit something. Hard to tell from here. Tell me that wasn't a complete miss. I may have missed them actually, or I might not have done enough damage, because of course these are just guns, this time not explosive war-headed rockets or general purpose frag bombs. So, okay. Either I've missed or I've not done enough damage. I'm going to do another pass in any case. So let's get ourselves back up to altitude, back up to our starting position, which should be about now, I think. Kill the afterburners. Level the aircraft out. And I'll get ready to come back around for another pass. You can see the gun pod there on the wing. Nicely modelled actually, a lot of detail in those muzzles. So yeah, it very much looks like I did not score any kills, but I was definitely hitting the target. Let's get ready to bring her back around. Maintaining G limits the whole time. Okay, there we go. I'm going to keep the nose high just for a little bit longer, because I think I'm a little bit further out than I was when I started the last time. I'm going to manoeuvre the aircraft actually so I can see my targets through the side window. There we go. That's better. Okay, throttling back, and I'm going to begin my descent. Okay, so let's have another go. Let's see if we can actually score some kills this time. So same setup as before. I'm entering around about, actually it's only about a 20-degree dive, and I want to get the gun pepper underneath the first vehicle. Angle's not quite as good on this approach, but anyway, let's try. Okay, it's moving, firing. And I've already got my brake off indication, going full power, 4G pull up. Let's get ourselves back up at altitude, and I'll come round to the right as well. Don't want to pull any more G than that. Ah, right, there we go. Definitely got some hits that time. Definitely got some hits that time. Okay, generally speaking, you don't want to make any more than 2 passes against the same target, because of course they're waiting for you, and even small arms fire might score a few hits and do you some damage, so we're going to call it a day at that. That was 2 passes. It looks like I got 2 vehicles. I must have damaged some of the others at least. So that is a perfectly good demonstration, I think. So I'm going to pause it here. And as before, I'll just give you a very quick rundown on the setup. So from left to right, we're going ground as the master mode, neutral on the missile selector, ignoring the weapon selector here. We're setting our gun sight to gun mode, to shoot, and to automatic. We're setting our target size to 10 meters. Then on the overhead panel, we're powering the pods. We're switching the gun trigger from internal gun to UPK pods, and we're loading using the first pyro cartridge. Down on the radar panel, we're setting beam mode on, and I'm normally setting a dangerous altitude setting of around about 250 meters. Okay. So that's the whole thing. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you all next time.